Hey guys, it's Mech with the crisp camera quality, and today I'm gonna show you how I make packs. So I'm basically just gonna go over things like shading and just basically shading, because you can find videos all over YouTube on how to start from scratch. So I'm assuming you guys can figure that out on your own. And yeah, I'm doing this because I've had quite a few people commenting or just contacting me to do it, and low-key, I'm just too lazy to actually teach them. So one-on-one. So I'm gonna teach you guys, teach all of you on YouTube. And yeah, let's get into it. Oh, and before I start, I apologize for background noise because my sister is, yeah, she's watching really terrible Netflix films, and she's probably gonna be swearing. So if you hear that, you know. When I make a pack, I use this base pack that I created. It's essentially just default 1.14 16x textures. The 32x, it's essentially the same thing, just with Faithful. So I might just leave a download to this in the description, so you guys can use it for whenever you want to make packs if you decide to use this. So here, I'll just make a copy, put it on my desktop. So here we have the base pack. Can you not? Alright, so here we have the base pack, and I'm gonna open it up, and I'll go through shading of, I'll start with swords first. So with my shading, it's essentially a adapted version of Keno's old style. It was either Keno or Hollowing Reaper is one of their styles. Keno showed it to me, so, and I just adapted it with something different. So the base pack is gonna have a palette, which, okay, this isn't hand shading, but a palette, I like to use this whenever I'm making a pack. So here you pick your base color. So usually I just fill in the blade first. I like to start off with the blade. So then you just start with the outline, and a thing I like to do is you can darken it just like the slider or whatever, but I don't know, I like things evenly, so I like to darken it by increments of -30. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I usually do it like 5 times. And then the middle, I'll show you guys how to do the two kinds of blades. So I'll show the one with the midline. You do this. You gotta make this one a little bit dark because the way, like, the glow and stuff, sometimes it messes up the color. It makes it a little dark. So yeah, and the side, you can choose to change this color. I usually just darken it by a little bit to add a little more contrast to the sword. And here we start. So whenever I'm shading, you gotta use a transparent white. As you can see here, the opacity, make it 0, it's white, and a just solid black. So here we I just create a new layer, and then the way I do this is with gradients. So I like to do this using the arrow keys just to make it like even, I guess. But there's no like set amount that you have to go down or to the side with. It's just, you can do it however you want. Just play around with it, in all honesty. Just play around with however you think it would look good. And so what I usually do is I just start from the top here and go down with my arrow keys. I just go down like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I go across. So here you can do all of this with your mouse. You can just go down with your mouse. You can hold shift to make sure it's a straight line down if you want. Do this, and then you can go across that way. And then when you're doing this kind of sword with inline, one thing I like to do is, because sometimes the glow makes this part too bright, I like to darken it, sort of darken it, by going down just a little bit, going down it, Alright, so now that you got your gradients done, and this is gradient shading, not hand shading. I'm no expert on that. I can't teach you that. So you Control Shift F, or merge the layers like with this, or M. Control M also works. So you just merge them, and just so it's not like, so other colors aren't bleeding into it, I like to cut it with Control X, paste it onto new layer, and just paste it there. And then I put my effects. So glow, you can just mess around with glow in all honesty, but I like to put it radius 1, and I don't change anything else. And then soften portrait. And if the middle gets too bright with the glow, soften portrait usually like darkens it a little bit. So you don't have to worry too much about that. So depending on the color, I just like to mess with this slider, the warmth slider, to get the right color. So since this doesn't look right, this looks better. And with, I think this is like cooler to warmer. So this is more that has like a yellow tint to it. I don't know how colors work, but I guess that's how it is. So I used, for something like blue, just keep the warmth at 0. Lighting, you can change this, but it's really not that big of a deal if you don't do anything with it. Alright, so, and here you have your blade. Now, with this shading, you could do this onto literally anything. You can do I do the same kind of shading on the cross guard, right on the cross guard here. Same with the pommel, and the stick. I mean, you can add a little gradient if you want. Do that. I usually like I shade sticks. It sounds weird, but I shade the stick. Same way as the blade, same type of thing. And one thing to notice about this is sometimes you gotta fix the colors on the outlines, because things can get, like here, it just doesn't look right, you see? Even here, so you can switch these like that, and you got it fixed. You might have to do it a couple more times, but eventually, until you get a color that looks right, you got it. And another thing with these textures, a way you can save time with the recolors is, before adding all the effects and stuff like that, you can do is, while the gradient is still on that separate layer, Control S, and it saves to a PDN, so you can open that up and fill in the colors after. But then after that, make sure you save it as a PNG, because now it's saved as the PN. It would be saved as the PDN, so you got to resave it as the PNG. And I almost forgot how to show you guys how to do the other type of sword. So the type of sword where it looks like it's a gradient, like on say Infinite, you know, that kind of sword. So to do that one, it's the same principles with the shading, but this time on the base layer, you just you kind of make a gradient. Don't do just by like so just darken it to make it look like there's already a gradient on it. Just by like -20, because that usually looks good. -30 tends to sometimes look too dark, depending on the color, I guess. So here you make it look like it has an arc gradient already, and then you put the shading and whatever, cut it, and then here we go. Throw the glow and soften portrait, and here now you got your gradient kind of looking sort. You can do this without the -20, the darkening on the base, but sometimes the gradient is just barely noticeable when you do that. And yeah, that's how you do this kind of sword. And once again, you can reuse the shading for essentially any item. You just have to like play around with colors and stuff like that. So here we have the Gapple, and just make your outline whatever. Alright, you can use outline tool if you want to get different kinds of outlines. I mean, that's just whatever. Here, make the inlines. Actually, I can just do this. Boom. And then add a little bit of shadow. I don't know. Never mind. Yeah, that works. So here, and you get your gradients, clear, and black and black. Just go down. 8, I guess. There's no set amount of spaces you have to go back. It's just whatever you think looks good. And then here we go. Cut it, paste it to new layer, photo, glow, and soften portrait. Now with the Gapples, it's probably best that you keep the warmth at full 20 because that gives it like a actual yellow color instead of this whatever this is. It looks like and then here this is actual yellow. So then recently, a thing I've been doing, I used to just leave this on its own, but I like to add a little bit of saturation, give it a little orangish color, you know, so it looks golden. And yeah, I'll show you guys how to make. I mean, you can probably figure out how to make the hearts and stuff. Hearts are literally is the same thing. Now with armor, it's the same thing as well. Just fill in your solid colors like that. Fill the solid colors. Just fix your outlines if you want. And whatever. Yeah. Just make the inlines. Oops. Nope. That's line 2. I'll just cut to when I have all the inlines done. Alright, so here we have all the inlines, shadows, whatever you want. Maybe however you want it, basically just like that, or there. Okay. Actually, I don't have to do that anyway. It's here. Alright, here we go. Okay, so here we go. Got all the inlines and shadows. Now just select whatever part of the armor you want to start with, and then place your gradients. I'm just gonna like eye it, not gonna worry about being even. There we go. You can copy and paste gradients for like things with certain similar shapes. And I mean, you don't have to do this, but you can try to make everything like tile, kinda, sort of. It might look a little messed up when you actually put everything together. So you can just do that, and then smaller. Okay. Here we go. And actually, for the armor, you only really need just one piece of it, because you can just copy and paste all the other parts for like the boots and sleeves, I guess. Gradient that way. So I just like to keep in mind whichever way the connecting parts gradient is going. So some people ignore this. It's whatever. It really isn't like major part that'll make or break your pack. So here, got the gradients. Alright, so now that you have all your gradients together, you can save this as your PDN or whatever for your recolors. And then Control-Shift-F just merges all the layers. With the top, you're going to want to flip this vertically if you have that. Or just, I think you can probably do it. Just move it here. That's not how you do it. Oh, that is how you do it. Alright. Just flip it vertically. Kinda. Oh, no, wait. It was right there. You can do it like that way. And then I just like to do this so it kind of looks like everything matches. So now I like to take the like the front and back of the chest plate and put that in another layer, because since they're next to those, the colors can like mess up. The helmet, it doesn't really matter. So select all your parts. So whenever you keep in mind, whenever you put your glow, don't like leave like the blank spaces, because a thing that does is it looks like there's some weird kind of drop. It makes some kind of drop shadow type thing. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you only have the armor parts themselves selected. Okay, and then so you can reuse the effects without having to like go back into it with glow. So you could just Control F, and then soften portrait. Do your colors and whatever. And here you go. Here's your sorta. It's kind of unclean and stuff. And how to make the what is it? The arms and legs tile well. Just copy this one part, and then just horizontally flip them. And so when you're in game, it looks like they don't look all, I mean, if you don't flip them, it's really not that big of a deal. They just look like all of that. It'll just be the same thing all around. But I prefer when everything is kind of tiled, if that's how you say it. If that's really, it looks connected. That's what I'm saying. And here's your armor. And for this, same thing. Fill in your colors, put your gradients. Usually just collect. You can usually just do this part, because for the legs, you can use this, copy it, and paste onto here. Just flip it vertically, and yeah, that's essentially how you do armor. And lastly, I might as well show you guys how to do the icons. So with this, just get your color. Just use the red from here. And then fill it all in, and then make your outlines if you want. Kind of makes an outline if you don't actually put the outlines, but it doesn't really look the best. You can just like darken it by 33 times about. Got your inline. Select it. Try not to make it too dark, because sometimes it'll sort of mess up when you're making the heart outline. So be wary of that. Collect it. Yeah, collect it. Sure. Put your glow. Soften portrait. Now with red, the colors tend to be a little bit funky. So you can do this, and then warmth 20 and lighting 20, and then do Control Shift U, and then the hue and saturation. Do it by 120, and that should make a nice red color. Nice solid bright red. And then for the half heart, you can just take half of it and put half. For the inside heart, you can just take this and then Control Shift G to grayscale it. Now you can leave it as this. You can leave the outline as just black, the solid black, which I mean I think that should look fairly decent in game. But I like to take this kind of like a gray, it's not black, but it's dark gray. Fill it in and then do your gradients on that. Put another layer so you can do it for the white as well. Make this a little darker. Put that there. Cut them and glow and soften portrait. And there you go. That's basically how you do your icons. Armor bars, same idea, XP bar, basically same type of thing to do, except usually select about halfway on the right side, so then you can go down with the gradient this way, and then just go that way, and and then you can put your glow and whatever, and then after getting half of it, just flip it and connect it to the other side. And you can just grayscale for this part and recolor for the different bars. Alright guys, so that's it. That's basically the shading tutorial and how to do essentially anything I do. The reason I've been holding back on this, it's one, I'm lazy, and two, it's because when you show people how you make your own packs, I mean, there's no problem with it. People are gonna copy it, and that's fine. Like, copy your style, do their own way, that's perfectly fine. But sometimes if it's like popular, I guess, if the style's popular, it can get overused, and kind of it makes the packs less enjoyable, I guess, to see like so much. It's all the entire selection is like basically the same pack, just different colors. So I advise you guys to take what you learned here and figure out your own thing. Implement different effects if you want. There's different ways. You can just use glow. I mean, you can just use soften portrait, but it gets a little weird. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and peace. My camera's messed up. I know you guys are waiting for this video to end, but quick little message I just want to tell you guys before I finish it off. Thank you guys for everything that you guys have given to me, like this YouTube channel. We're close to we're at 1.74k right now, I believe. Pretty close to 2k. So if you guys found this enjoyable, please make sure like and subscribe, and you know, if you could show this to your friends, get them to subscribe. 2k, I can get it for the summer, you know, that'd be a nice thing. But yeah, see you guys.